Hey. Good people, welcome. I want to thank everybody for checking out the show. We want to welcome you all guys to Counterpoise Podcast. And this week we are going to have a great show in line for you. I am one of the hosts, Everett Stevenson, joined by my other lovely host.
Hi, I'm Malik Foster. I'm another co-host for the Counterpoise Podcast.
Hi, and I'm Samantha Adams. I'm the third co-host, and occasionally you might hear our unofficial co-host, my dog Chino, barking in the background. So today, guys, we have a good topic. We are going to be talking about the 6th P, right? And so, we learned that in order to obtain success, you have to be appropriately prepared, right? And so there's an aphorism it's the 5 Ps. A lot of you may or may not know this, but Malik, Everett, and we all went to the same law school together. That's where I personally learned about the 5 Ps. I don't know about them, but let them tell you their story. And the 5 P stands for proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's something that I've lived by ever since the first time I've heard it. And the 6th P is something that we believe we should talk about, something that's not included in the 5 Ps, but you need it in order to get to where you're going, trying to, hit that road of success and reach those goals. That 6th P is perseverance. We each going to break this out. We all have things that we think that we believe contribute, to obtaining that level of success by, doing those 5 Ps. And I'm going to kick it off with got to have the right mindset, right? I know for me, I'm going to give you my quick little story of my journey. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 18, knew it since high school. And when I got to law, so I went through law. It took a while, but I finally got to law school, did law school. I was chosen to be the valedictorian or the valedictory speaker in my class. I was super excited, super humbled. And I knew that when I finished, all I had left to do was pass the bar, right? But it wasn't that easy. I took the bar, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I took the bar exam 8 times before I passed. And, E and Malik will get into the depths of, what it means for them, like how they keep the right mindset. But for me, it wasn't just about being focused on what it was my goal was. My grandmother always told me to keep my eyes on the prize. And for me, in that time, the prize was getting that license. So I made sure I stayed focused on what it was I was trying to do. And I knew that there was a lot of people that were going to tell me what I could and could not do, should and should not do. Maybe I should give up. Maybe I should try something else. Maybe I'm not built for it. And even there were days where I told myself that, just in full disclosure. But which leads to my second part, I had to have the right attitude, right? Because no matter what somebody tells you, you can't allow that to deter you. Your life, think of your life as being on a highway. You're on this journey. You can't get off an exit just because somebody told you that that's what they think that you should do, even if it's well-intended. You just got to keep it pushing, keep the right mind state and keep reminding yourself daily that this is what I'm going to do and it's going to happen. Hook or crook, there's nothing that's going to stop me from getting there. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, that's what it was for me. Having my mindset, blinders. There's nothing. It's like I'm like Kung Fu Panda. Y'all ain't coming in and stopping my shine or stopping me from going where I'm trying to go. Did you guys have? Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
I guess.
I definitely wanted to jump on that one real fast. I think that I think that what you were just saying a few minutes ago is absolutely correct. You definitely need to have a focused mindset and tunnel vision, if you will, when you're focused on your goals and whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, right? And that might require us also, going back into that perseverance mindset of just having to like refocus sometimes, even if other things that may come in with your life, depending on what other aspects you have, whether it's kids, wife, other things of that nature that might be pulling you work. So being focused is one. But for me, when I was gonna say one of my mental mindsets that came to mind when I was thinking about this, and one of the things that I think that really affects a lot of people, and especially as I've gotten older, I've noticed that is a lack of like self-confidence, a lack of self-belief and understanding of, and I don't know, I don't want to say worthiness if they will, but like just an understanding that like your mind is really powerful. You really can achieve anything that you want. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the situation is, I'm not saying that you can just manifest it all in a sense, but
Well, it is manifestation.
it's part of, right? But and that's going to the point of the perseverance, because just the manifestation alone isn't going to get it. Manifestation is the like a part of it. It's the first part of it. But I think also, you have to go into other things, and we'll get into those topics later. But for me, I think within that statement of just having that mental attitude, having that mindset of knowing that you also know that you can do whatever it is that you're looking to do, and it's possible of being done. And I think that's that a lot of people need to do, is like, it's either they know that it can be done, but they may not think that they can get it because they don't necessarily know how they're going to do it. But just knowing that, like, yo, I deserve this. This is what I want. This is what I want to go after. And this is what I'm going to dedicate myself to do. That should be enough to kind of get you there. And I think that, having that belief in self is to it, even to the point where, some people will say you got to fake it till you make it. You know what I mean? And that could be in the mindset of like, you showing up to work, maybe, you know what I mean, and you wearing suits and everything else, and people might be wearing just a shirt and khakis, and like, why is this person? But your mindset is on, I'm not in this position that I'm on. I'm on where I'm supposed to be at. I'm preparing myself today to be where I want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and I'm going to act as though I'm there now. And so that's the right type of faking until you make it. Nowadays, that gets misinterpreted. So I wanted to make sure that people understood what I meant by that, fake it to make it.
Yes, I think focus is very important. Your success definitely starts in your mind, and you have to have the right mental attitude to achieve your goals, dreams, and desires. So you focusing on training your mind to complete your task and goals is very important and essential to persevering through tough times, such as what you mentioned, the bar exam, how you took the bar exam multiple times. It took a lot of perseverance, a lot of mental strength and fortitude to get through that tough experience. I, for one, I've also taken the bar exam more than once, so I understand, what you went through in those situations. We were studying together. We took the same bar exam, so I definitely understand that. And you do have to have your right mindset. It takes discipline. It takes focus. So you have to really be patient on that. So, but we'll get a little bit more into it when I further talk about consistency and patience.
Yeah. One thing I just wanted to touch on really quick that you said, E, was about the mind tricks, right? And you feeling unworthy or like you're a failure, or because the road to success is not a straight line. It's definitely got lots of curves, bumps in the road, hills and valleys, all that stuff. And so a lot of times I remember hearing Will Smith talk about failing forward. You know what I mean? And you're gonna fail. You just have to embrace it and just know that The goal is to grow from the failure, right? The failure is like always a baseline. Like, all right, boom, I got to check myself from this space. What did I do wrong so I can do better? And you're going to have all these other factors, like I was saying before, about people, talking to you, telling you what you can and cannot do. And you'll do it to yourself, right? You'll start feeling like, well, maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe I don't deserve this. And like you said, the mental state, the mindset is very, very powerful. So, you have a lot of times people don't recognize the power that they have with the mind and what it can cause them to be able to do, and the leaps and bounds that it can propel them forward to, you know what I'm saying? And so I think it's important to just recognize that there will always be times on your road to success, whatever your journey is. Like for me, in that time and space, it was I needed to pass the bar exam to be an attorney. I'll have another journey at some point, and it's not always going to be easy, but at the same time, I have to remind myself that this is what I'm doing, and nothing's going to stop me from getting to where it is I'm going to go, period. You know what I mean? That's full stop, not comma, not semicolon, none of that. That's it. And you just have to have that type of an attitude. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to cut people off too. Those people that keep trying to speak that negative energy over your life, because it could affect your attitude and your mindset. And sometimes you have to literally just close yourself off into the bubble that you need to close yourself off onto while you bubbling. So when you're ready to pop, you're ready to pop, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? But you can't approach perseverance without the right attitude.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And I wanted to go into something because in addition to having the right mindset, I think that planning and taking action is another couple things that are subsets of, perseverance, right? Because for me, like, I think when you have a goal to do something, it might take multiple steps, you know what I'm saying, in order to do that. And there's a couple of times in my life where I've had to do it, and with thinking about the theme of the show and my issue and what I wanted to talk about, like I wanted to find one situation in my life in which I had to either, replan and, have to show perseverance in the attack plan of how I wanted to go about this, as well as, the actions that I've had to take and the different actions that I may have had to take as well to get that done. And one of the first times I could think of in my, which I had to apply this, was probably around 16, 17. And it was right around the time, you're getting ready to get out of high school. You're not getting ready to get out of high school, but you're getting to that point where you like, okay, you got your car, if you have the car, or, you know what I'm saying? You 16, you may be able to drive and stuff like that. You kind of getting ready to be like, okay, yeah, I'm starting to get those adult lifestyle, semi-adult lifestyle privileges. And for me, the thought process at that time was, do I want to continue playing ball? I was a football player in high school. I know I wanted to go to school somewhere and go to, further my education. So, was it going to be the focus on just academics, or would it be athletics and academics? And what it required for me to do is to kind of come up with a way for me to continue that. Right. So I was a pretty good athlete, but I wasn't D1 or anything like that. I went to Wayne State as well, and I ended up getting a scholarship as well to go there, and got recruited at a couple other schools. But I know for me, that plan to getting there and that thought process of saying, hey, I just want to continue to play ball, wasn't something where it was just I just went to practice every day and then, got letters in the mail and stuff like that. It was one that took on a lot of things that had to take place out in the back doors. And it's so funny because one of my good friends that I'm good friends with today, shout out to Sheed, talked to him just the other day. And one of our relationships really developed at that point in time because he helped me realize what planning can do, and still to this day is helping me realize, the importance of planning. And so from there, it was something as small as like we had a relationship with him. One of our other friends, you know, his father was a principal, so he had a relationship. We were able to get like, you know, keys to the gym. So instead of us just being able to go during the normal times of us, you know, working out with our team, you know, here are guys who wanted to be leaders on our team as well, and was like, yo, anybody else want to get in? We doing summer workouts, da 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 da. Like, and so you were just in there, and it's just the 3-4 of y'all, you know, just trying to push each other to get to where we're trying to go. And you seeing like, okay, that's a step, right? Because if you want to be serious about moving forward within your career, then you're going to have to do some things outside of just what's asked of you within the organization. You're going to have to take some steps to try to like set yourself apart. So these are like things that you have to do to kind of like plan to get to that next level. And even though, you know, along with that came, you know, recording of your own videos and sending those out to schools, you know what I'm saying? Also making edit films and things of that nature. All of that was part of the plan to kind of move forward. And these were actions that were taken within that step to move forward. And these were repetitive actions. And I know we'll be getting into that as well, because it's not a one-time thing. This is something that you had to kind of like stick to. And I think that's why it was like the perseverance part came into it, because it's not like, you know, you get 1 or 2 reps in. You got to do this, you know what I'm saying, continuously, you know, in order for you to feel like, you know, you're really getting to that road to success. So planning was one thing that was taught for me at that point in time, of how like you have to have an idea outside of maybe what, you know, the norm has been or what you may think it was. You have to do things outside of that sometimes in order to get to where you're trying to go. So yeah, guys, y'all got some examples of which, you know, you guys had to use planning and taking actions in your plans in order to, you know, move forward.
Yeah, one of the things that you touched on was, you know, when you're making the plan, don't make it so linear, right? Like you can't be rigid in your plan. You know, they always say, like they say, you want to make God laugh, make a plan, right? That doesn't mean just throw caution to the wind and just move how you move without planning anything, because you need to plan. But your plan should be fluid, because things are not always going to work the way you want them to work, right? Case in point, with the bar exam. In my mind, when I graduated from law school, I was going to take the bar, be done with it, go off, be a lawyer, and do whatever. It didn't happen for me right away. You know what I'm saying? And it took a long time. But I had to say, all right, this is what I got to do in order to maneuver until I get to this place. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that there were certain jobs that I was going to have to take that I necessarily didn't really want to take because, you know, they weren't where I was trying to go. Or there were, you know, I didn't want to have to study. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a part of the plan. You're not going to pass the bar and not study. Like I mean, maybe that works for some people. That wasn't it for me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and try to judge how people move, but, you know, I agree with that. Like you definitely have to be able to plan and take action. Like, you know, a plan is just words on a piece of paper unless you act. Like you have to act. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean that's what that is for me. I think that it's really important. You can't move without a plan, a destination, and putting one foot in front of the other in order to get there. What do you think, Malik?
Yeah, I think you know, you have to have a plan, and what people make the common mistake of is not being too specific in their plan. So their plan is like, hey, I want to be rich. Okay, how much money do you want to get? How do you plan to get that amount of money? What are the steps you're going to take? Excuse me. So I think, you know, when you're planning and executing, you definitely want to take it step by step. So for example, even when I was taking the bar exam, I had to take my steps like, okay, I want to pass the bar exam. So what books do I need? How many hours of study? How many hours of sleep do I need? Break time, exercise time, all these types of things play a role in your success. So you have to plan your actions around your daily activities, your weekly activities, monthly activities. So that's the kind of planning I did in order to achieve success in that specific instance in passing the bar exam. So sometimes you do have to adjust, like you said, Sam. So if something's not working in your plan, you just adjust your plan, saying, I plan to do this, but it's not working. So let me try this and adjust. When you see something that's not working over a consistent time, it could be like 30 days if it's not working, or maybe a couple months or so, and you see that pattern of it not working in your plan, you adjust your plan and try something new so you can achieve that success that you want. So that's something that I implemented. So when I didn't pass the bar exam, I was like, okay, look, what can I do differently? I purchased a different book. I enlisted the services of a tutor, things like that, just to help me achieve my goal and success. And that kind of that's kind of a good segue into the next topic of consistency. E, do you have any comments or about what I said?
I just wanted to just kind of finish up with what you were saying. I definitely agree with you. You know what I'm saying? I think what you said was an excellent point, because again, those are all things that I did as well. Like, it went from, like you said, just taking a normal course, did that, didn't pass that first time. I think went to another one, to like ordering a tutor at one point, like whatever, like, finding other resources that may have needed to be done in order to get to where I wanted to go. And again, that's something we might have to talk about another day, but I think that's that investing in yourself, like, you know what I mean? Which again, that's a whole nother subject. But to like summarize what I was talking about earlier, I forgot about this, this verse, and my mom would always say this too, and that's James 2:26, which it says, for as the body without spirit is dead, faith without work is dead also. And I think that goes to what we were trying to say about I was trying to make the point of, with just manifestation without taking action and planning, it won't work, and it's on its own. You know what I'm saying? I think there's another lyric that Drake has said, like, I'm the type to go pray for something and then go get what I just prayed for. Like, that's how it should be, hand in hand. Like, I'm thinking about it, I'm manifesting, I'm going after it, and then after that, I'm gonna go, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go do what I can and do my part into bringing that into fruition. So that's all I wanted to say real quick and wrapping that up. But I know, you had another point that you thought that would help with
perseverance. Yeah. So another thing that I had that I wanted to discuss about with perseverance is that you can't persevere through tough times without being consistent and patient. So first, I'll go with the consistency. So if you want to be able to persevere through anything, of course, you need to have the right mindset, like Sam said, and of course, you need to plan and execute that plan, like Everett said. But the third thing that you need to do to bring it all together is to be consistent. So even if you have the right mindset, even if you have a plan and you take some action, if you're inconsistent, you're going to have inconsistent results. So if you want to have consistent results, consistently good results, you have to be consistent. So when I was taking the bar exam, I had to consistently study at a certain schedule, and study a certain amount of hours per week, per day. I had to exercise, take that mental break, and I also had to plan. So if like I didn't do well that day on my studies on a certain area, or I didn't feel comfortable, I tried to make the plan to go over certain topics. Maybe it's like, criminal law or property law, something like that, for example. I would plan some extra time to actually study that. So coming up with a consistent schedule was very important to me and leading to my success in passing the bar exam. Also, you can't really persevere through anything without consistent action. So always taking that consistent action is always good. So that's one thing. So things that help me out with consistency is trying to take consistent action daily and trying to do that for 21 days, because they always say 21 days. It takes 21 days to build up a habit. So that's something that I try to do. I even implement that in my daily life. So for example, I wanted to start reading more books, especially this year. So I just took it upon myself to do like a 21-day growth challenge where I would save some amount of money every day, invest a certain amount of money every day, and try to read 15 pages of a book, like a growth book, maybe about investing, maybe about personal development, health, something like that. So far so good. I've been reading like 15 pages a day. I made a priority on my list to do such a thing. Another thing that helps me with consistency is I have an agenda, and I also use what they call a Pomodoro Technique. And a Pomodoro Technique is where I focus on a task for a certain specific amount of time, and then I take like a 5 minute break, and then I get back to that task until it's done. So I like to work in maybe 30-minute increments on certain tasks, and then take a little 2 minute to 5 minute break, and then I get back to it. So that's really helped me be more efficient and consistent with my tasks, and leading to more success in my life personally. Also, discipline. You have to discipline yourself. Try to do repetitive tasks that will eventually get you to the goal that you want. And then another thing that people fail to estimate, actually underestimate, is the patience. Sometimes that's something that I'm learning too. You have to be patient, have patience, because things aren't going to come like that. I know with this information age and the technology age that we live in today, things come to us fast, 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 and we're trying to do everything. And what focus stands for, follow one course until success. So sometimes you really have to do that, really hone in and focus on that task until you complete that task. Even if it's a daily task, even if it's a long-term goal, sometimes you got to focus on that task. Not saying that you can't do other tasks in between, but if it's like your main task, if your main task is to get $1 million by a certain time, you really have to focus on that task every day. Focus, 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 and take those little steps. Like, think of it like steps. How do you go up the steps? You take it one step at a time. You're usually not jumping up 3 steps at a time, 4 steps at a time. That's not how we go up the steps. Usually, typically, you go one step at a time and going up consistently. So think of consistency and patience, one step at a time, and take your time. So that's something that I'm still learning. Do you guys have any examples of consistency or patience that you guys want to share with the viewers?
I do. For us, it might have been the bar, right? At some point in Everett's life, he shared that it was about football, but it could easily be working out, right? Like, when you talk about consistency, it could simply be working out. If you want to see results, you have to be consistent. That's period. It doesn't matter what any area of your life that you're talking about. You want to see results in your business, you have to be consistent with your business. When you want to see results in your body, you have to be consistent with exercising and eating healthy. When you want to see results in your family life, you have to be consistent in your relationships. And I think that consistency is really important, and you can't do it without execution, like Malik said. But one of the examples I had about patience, right? Because patience is probably one of the hardest things for most people. Because like you said, people look for that instant gratification and stuff, Malik. But like for me, I took the bar 8 times. You know what I'm saying? You take the bar, let's say you take the February bar, you don't get your results till May. You're gonna wait 4 months, 4 to 6 months for your results. You know what I'm saying? You take it in October, you don't get your results till June. Did I say that right? No, you take it in. Did I say that right?
You get your results in October.
Yeah, you take the July bar, you get them in October. Right. I said June. Right. So, but you got to wait all that time to find out whether or not you pass the test. I went through that with the exam every single time I went through it, including when I passed, and it really teaches you how to be humble. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to not be humble when you're going through these types of things, but it will humble you. And so, patience is super, super duper key. And you have to have the right attitude when you're approaching that, right? Like you have to remind yourself daily, like, look, I know I'm getting anxious and all that, but the word says be anxious for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, faith without works is dead, but God is always going to provide. If he knows the desires of your heart, and he's going to provide, but you just have to stay focused on the goal with the right mindset. You know what I mean? And continue to be consistent and take action. That was what I wanted to add.
Absolutely. And so I think you brought some great points. You know what I'm saying? We are added some good points in here, and I'll add my few thoughts on that, on the consistency and patience part. And it's so funny because we were talking about so many different things, and it's so funny because a lot of those things overlapped in my own life. Like I remember praying a prayer one time and just being like, God, like, like make sure when I get certain things in my life in order, like let me have, I think it was 5 things I might have asked for. Like, let me be spiritually, where I need to be, let me be financially where I need to be, like, let me be mentally where I need to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let these things, let me have the career that I want to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let these things come before all of this was in order. You know what I'm saying? My health was another thing that I asked for in that regard. And it's so funny because they say, like, be careful what you ask for, because, you will have to fight some of those battles within all of those realms in order to get to that growth. And also in order to kind of get the things that you're talking about. And I wanted to add those 2 things in real fast, because I think which was funny to me, because like within my journey of the bar thing and everything, and getting through and passing, taking it, besides just taking the test. For some people who don't understand, it's like a 3-part thing that you have to do in order to get past the bar. Like, so you have to take the actual bar within your state, or multi-state if you in MBE type situation. But you take the bar, you get that, you pass another thing called character and fitness, and then lastly you have to do like an ethics test as well. So there's 3 different tests, and you have to pass them all within a certain time frame. So if you don't do that all within that time frame, then you will have to restart one of those processes wherever whichever one isn't done in that time frame. So for me, getting caught one time where like I got everything done, but then one wasn't done before the last, because some stuff you could do before you graduate, some things, you know what I'm saying, you have to do once. Like you can't take the bar until after you graduate, or in your last year or something like that. Last semester, I believe. You can, so boom. So with me personally, my whole perseverance had to come with like feeling like, oh man, having to take the bar a couple of times, a few times maybe. I think it was a few times for me, or so. And then like when the time I actually get through and it's done, everything hit, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, sweet, I actually made it, to find out, I got to go back to another hurdle or something that I've already did, 2-3 years prior. I was like, oh, I've already done it all. Like I've done everything that you asked me, but it wasn't in the order that was that was asked for the regulations. So I had to go back. And within that time frame, what I've learned is like I had to be patient, because it was something that now was out of my own hands. And I think we also need to talk about that within perseverance, is that sometimes you might be doing everything you can do within your power, and it still might not happen for you. And that's the part of being patient and being, persistent, because if it don't happen, it doesn't mean quit. It doesn't mean let go. It doesn't mean stop. It just means that you need to stay for, doing what you can do, continue to do what you can, and just wait till your time come, because it's going to come. It's just waiting until your time comes. And I think when people understand that, then it's like, okay, cool. Because like I said, if you knew when you was going to get what you would get, you would do everything with a mindset of, oh, okay, I know that date it's going to happen. So I'm going to just keep working on it, because I just need a couple more years and it's going to come. But when you don't know when that's going to come, you know what I mean? It's a lot easier to say, oh, well, this ain't working. You know what I mean? But that's that mental toughness. That's that fortitude. That's that perseverance that we're talking about today. That's required in order to say, you know what, in spite of, or, because of what's in me, I'm going to go ahead and push through whatever is what's thrown at me. So those are one of the things. And it's so funny that, like I said, we said this thought, because like there's a picture of me, like right when I was studying for the bar at one point in time, and I had on this suit. And then I took that same suit at the time, and I had like wore it when I had like actually got sworn in. And in that time frame difference, I probably was like, I lost like 60 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I still had the same fucking suit on. Excuse me, but I still had the same suit on. You feel what I'm saying? But like you can see like a difference in like my facial structure, things of that nature, And then like also like that journey that I was talking about of just being like, like, hey, while you going through what you're going through, like work on what you can work on and be persistent with that, because again, that weight loss part came about with a mindset of I had time because I had to sit there and wait to get to where I wanted to go. Like Sam said, things wasn't necessarily, linear where it was all perfect. I actually moved back. I used to live in Florida. I went to law school out here. I did home at one point in time, you know what I'm saying, to kind of get myself be aligned to, to bounce forward. So like there's things that you might have to do within your journey as far as being persistent that's going to require things of you that might not be glamorous in some sense, or it might seem like a step back, if you will. But that's part of just saying like, listen, if where I'm trying to get to is great of a point, then I might make certain sacrifices that generally I probably wouldn't have if I didn't have such bigger aspirations. So that's some of the things that I definitely want to say with that. But also, like I said, within that weight loss thing was like a lot of consistency and you know what I'm saying, dieting, planning as well. Like, and for me, it was like something as small as I remember just feeling like, all right, I'm gonna park my car and just walk, a little distance to wherever I'm going, just something that small. And then like, okay, cool. I'm gonna, eat oatmeal first thing in the morning to, okay, I'm gonna wait to start, intermittent fasting, you know what I'm saying? Then consistently with the workouts and then increasing those up and then just build it. So it was a process within that and there's a plan, but like, like Malik said, you take it one step at a time. And so I think just in closing on my points on this topic, I would like to say that all of the things that we said today are all things that are important to being persistent, having that mindset that you need to have, coming up with a plan, maybe replanning and another plan. But you know what I'm saying? Like they said, if my plan B is to work plan A better, you know what I'm saying? And if that's the type of consistency that you have, if that's the drive that you have for whatever dream it is that you want, you're going to get it. You will get it. You just got to go or feel like I'm going to die working at it. And as long as you got that mindset, then you're going to win because you was working at something that you wanted in your life anyhow. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand that little thing. So that mental attitude, planning, working towards that and being consistent and also patient as you work towards those things are no way, no how can you lose, in my personal opinion. Man, that's all I got on that one, guys.
Well, yeah. I'll say for my closing remarks, E, is that success is kind of like a roller coaster, but you always want to be going up constantly. So it's never going to be a smooth transition up, a straight horizontal line up, but it's going to have its up and downs, right? So the hardest part is starting. So that's the hardest part, starting that schedule, starting to get your mind right, starting to execute your plan, starting to be consistent, and actually having the patience to know that it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. So, because a lot of us, we tend to overthink. We tend to want things now. Everybody wants things now. We want to be rich now. We want to pass the bar now. We want to have that girlfriend or boyfriend, that husband, the wife, everything now. So having the patience to know that these things take time, that's very important. And taking that daily action every day, you want to take some type of steps. You want to move up one step. So that's how we go, one step at a time. We don't jump over steps because that's typically not how we go up the steps. Everybody knows that. Sometimes you can skip steps, but you're not going to skip steps on a consistent basis. So this is all about consistency here. That's what I was talking about earlier, about being consistent. And when you're being consistent, you don't skip steps. You're consistently going. The tortoise beat the hare because the tortoise was consistent. The hare wasn't consistent. So that's what we want to be. We want to be the tortoise, not the hare in this. And that's my kind of closing remarks for you guys. You have anything else, Sam, for us?
Yeah, I mean, I just echo everything that you guys have said. And just, remember that it all starts with the right attitude. You know what you want to do, stay focused on that. And don't let nothing stop you from it. Because the thing about it is, if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to have a proper plan. or you're not going to plan. You're not going to be able to take action because you're going to be, like Malik said, you're not going to be able to start because your mind is in the way. You're in your own way. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, if you don't have the right mindset, you're going to not be consistent. You're not going to take action. You're going to be all over the place, and you're not going to have patience. I just look at the patience thing like a line, right? When you go to the grocery store, people often try to get in the shortest line, right? But what happens when you get in the line and there's just one person in front of you and something goes wrong? And then you're sitting there for like 45 minutes waiting for them to get their check to go through or whatever the heck is going on. You know what I'm saying? You still have to pack your patience because you need to buy those groceries. And so, I just look at all of it kind of like that. You have to have the right mindset and you have to have the right attitude, because even though they go hand in hand, they're not the same. And I think that it's just really important that in order to persevere, that you just remember those 6 P's. So with that, I think that those are my closing arguments or statements or remarks or whatever have you. So we do want to thank you guys for joining us today on our Counterpoise podcast. You should definitely check us out on our Counterpoise podcast on YouTube. You should also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Like, follow our page, comment, all that stuff. We respond. Yeah, we respond. And also, you can follow me on my IG and Facebook. I have a Twitter. I don't really check it, just to be, honest. I'm going to start doing better with that. But you can check me on IG at Samantha Renee 77_ESQ. And you can check me on Facebook at Samantha Adams -ESQ. Otherwise, yeah, follow, share, subscribe, all that jazz on all our social media networks. E?
I am Everett Stevenson. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is thatguy2104. Let me see. Am I on anything else right now? I definitely got to get some more socials, but Clubhouse, I think I'm on that one. But Discord, catch me on that as well. Sure. Yeah, but make sure you guys please check out the page on YouTube. Definitely gonna have the link in my bio on my IG. Please like, subscribe, share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. Come check us out. We heating up, and it's just only gonna get better from here, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all the support for the loved ones who's watching and all the friends and family that's out here tapping in. Love. I'll check y'all next week.
Yeah, guys, you can follow me at Malik M. Foster. That's all social media handles, all my personal pages. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, it's Malik M. Foster. So you guys, please like, comment, share our videos. Follow us on YouTube at the Counterpoise Podcast. And, you can comment on this video here on Facebook Live if you're watching us live, if you want us to talk about any specific topics. Or anything like that. So thank you guys for watching our videos, and appreciate everything you guys do.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching.